Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. Here we go with parts 53 and 52 of the Total Tarot magazine subscription. And it has come with the two queens to complete my queen set. So I just have the kings to go now. So we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. So you can see the gilding there. Backs for my Art Nouveau Tarot. I shall put those with my... So there we go. That's the 4 queens in total, ready to go into my box. Really a complete set. And this one's come with Tarot of the Elves, so we'll do the flip through at the end. And because my recording space, we're zoomed in, and this is basically it. I can't move because you are seeing the edges of my table. And my other one's gone for a walk, so here we go. Where I normally get to space out and do my spreads. So straight in, we have advanced meanings for psyche and soul. We have power and confidence. We're talking here about the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, which came with parts 42 and 43. So that's one of the cards from there, which is the Magician. And the Magician meaning is changes depending on the question being asked. So power and confidence, a good card to meditate on when you need to boost your self-esteem. So lots of people do meditate with cards under their pillows or sleep with cards under their pillows to see if it helps them on guided dreams and things. So if this is going to be a lot about spiritual guidance, it's probably going to be less in the realms of what I know or practice. However, you never know. I might be a bit weird and I might know some of it. We have spiritual guidance. 2 major arcana cards that can help us engage with our spiritual side are the High Priestess and Hierophant. The former is a symbol of material, psychological and spiritual knowledge, while the latter is a spiritual guide. So there's your first one, there's your guide. A point of contact between the human and divine. The High Priestess, thematic meaning for spirituality, says the door of knowledge is found in the boundary that separates black from white, from space between. The guidance given by the Hierophant says each path in life is different, but you can still discover which way is right for you by standing still. So we have some things here about tarot teachers. The High Priestess, the Hierophant work well together when a person is looking for spiritual guidance. Invincible confidence and inspiring arcanum for people wanting to boost their self-esteem is the 7 of Wands in this particular deck, I'm guessing. And so, yeah, pages talking about things there to do for meditation. Here we have the 2 of Wands for card in detail. So if I've only got 4, bear with me, if I've only got 4 cards left to collect, that's not going to get me through to the end of the Wands, which must mean there's more magazines to come in this at the end. Tarot thematic meanings. Personal life, the meeting of 2 people. We have divination, we have psyche and soul. What the cards tell us, questions to ask. What is your next big goal? What resources do you need to gather? Do you recognise when you need to draw self-belief from loved ones? Do you recognise when you need to draw self-belief from loved ones? No. Self-belief for whom? For me or for them? No, I wouldn't draw my own self-belief from them. Maybe their own self-belief for themselves. Do you have the courage to express yourself, and are you good at embracing new ideas? Usually, yes. Do I express myself? Not always. Sometimes I'm a bit scared. Other times, what's the point? Because, it could be like hitting against a brick wall. Lesson learned, don't bother again type thing. Fool me once, fool me twice, and all that business. Correlations, number 2, we have the Sephira Chokmah, which is wisdom. We have the element of fire. We have the planet of Mars, sign of Aries, and esoteric name is Lord of Dominion. If we're going back to our Deacon circle. So, deck Lo Scarabeo represents the balance of opportunities. The John Bower, it suggests set plans in motion for the 2 of Wands. For the Neferatus, it suggests material offers. And our Pagan Tarot is starting again with the 2 of Wands. Shaman Tarot coming with parts 60 and 61. Meeting your other self. I like that. That's interesting. The Dark Grimoire is giving us planning, and the White Cats is giving us widening of mental horizons. but it's very RWS based, that one, cloned. And the Fae Tarot gives us Finding the Courage. The Elf Oracle. Oh, I say. So this one must be directly linked to the cards. So we have 3 or 4 cards. In this case, we can see 3. The Major Arcana again only for this one. Objective: to discover whether a change is about to happen and to understand its nature and extent. The layout is a single row of 3 cards plus 1 possible additional card. For elves, as immortal mythological beings, change is something precious, but at the same time, dangerous. So card 1 is the situation, card 2 is the possibility of change, card 3 is the nature of the change. So outcome, action, situation. If we're looking at it as a 3-card spread. And card 4, the lesson. I think I like the addition of the 4th card for the lesson. I'd probably put the 4th card in regardless for that one, now that I know what it means. So we've got more about the story, finding your place in the story of your deck and cards here. Continued from issue 53, or continued in issue 53, sorry. And here we have the Tarot of the Elves. Deck is created of author Mark McElroy and designer David Corsi. When he conceptualized the Tarot of Elves, McElroy didn't want to simply produce arcana with images of elves, but a deck that the elves, if they existed, would use themselves. Okay, so it's going to be quite interesting to see what this deck really looks like then, isn't it? So starting out, almost all the cards in the Tarot of the Elves are adapted to traditional interpretation through essential meanings and keywords. Beginners are also encouraged to see the cards in the context of the hero's journey, identifying the querent as the main context of the character of the story and assessing each card, what stage in their metaphorical journey they have reached. For example, if they draw the devil, which represents the Alberich in the underworld, tempted by the fleeting vision of his loved one, the reader may think that the time has come for the querent to recognise that is what is really important for them, so that they don't harbour false hopes. Okay. So that's interesting. What does that say? Represents Alberich in the underworld, tempted by the fleeting visions. So the devil here just says shadow, falsehood, the forbidden Volander, ruler of the elven underworld, tempts Alberich with a false vision of his wife. Okay, so there is, right, fine. There is some reference to the characters further into the meaning. So you get your keywords and then you get some reference to the cards in the meanings. And Alberich is the fool, which it does say quite clearly here. Okay. So our minor arcana. That's just out of interest. Let's see what 7 says. 7 says restlessness for 7 of Wands. Selamir's victories do not fulfill him. And let's see what 7 of Pentacles has to say for itself. Redemption. Faden has a chance to recover her lost treasure. And the 6 is charity. Faden represents. Okay, so they're a bit different to the previous subscription episode for this, where the 7 of Pentacles meant charity in the medieval tarot. Let's have a look at number 53. Just get ourselves realigned. Reading the tarot, skeptical querents. Always skeptical. Staying calm. Whatever type of querent comes to a reading and whatever the beliefs, the reader should remember to always remain polite and professional. It may be tempting to engage the heated arguments with people who challenge tarot, but this will not be productive. Absolutely not. In fact, the best way to challenge a naysayer is to tell them things that they know you don't know. Or simply put, tell them that they're not going to get anything out of the reading, they're wasting their money and probably your time. You can refuse to read for them, or you can just suggest that they might want to open up to conversation so that, you know, they get the benefit of the money that they're wasting, because there is no refund once the reading's complete. card in detail. So tarot's thematic meanings. Questions that you might want to ask yourself about the Three of Wands are things like, do you realise how strong your intentions are? How do you court others to help you? That's a very old-fashioned term. Do you have a good idea of what might happen next? And what will you choose to explore? Are you able to stay focused on the current moment? Oh, no, I've been struggling with that because I've got so much going on in my brain. So we have the number 3, Sephora Bina, which is understanding. Element is fire, planet sun, sign Aries. Esoteric name, Lord of Established Strength. Back to your deacon cycle. So let's put that down. We have the Lo Scarabeo, reaching out. The Raphaelite Tarot is belief in yourself. Neferatu is sharing and exchanging. The Pagan is magic in everyday life. The Fae is waiting for it to bloom. That is a really pretty card. The Tarot Draconis is conquest of the territory. The Dark Grimoire talks about taking risks, and the Shaman Tarot represents finding the hidden power. And then we have the run through of the spread that we had in the first magazine, so you can see what they've pulled, how it's been interpreted, and play along. Would you interpret it the same way? And see what you get from the interpretations from another reader's perspective. What perspectives and learnings do you get from that? Takeaways, as I call them. So we have assessing questions. A reader should be able to respond to the most diverse subjects, from the simplest everyday solutions to the most important events in a querent's life. I will be very honest, I find this difficult. This takes me a little bit of thought to work out sometimes how to rearrange a person's question, because I can be a bit black and white myself with my own thought perspectives and my own way of questioning and asking questions. So if somebody gives me the same thing and I understand exactly what they want to know but can't rearrange the wording, I have to just take a moment to sit, think about it, find the main point of the question, what other points to that question might feed into it, and I might start to take my questioning around until I get to the answer that I need. But that's just me. Some people are fantastic at putting it in a nutshell, but as an open-ended question, whereas I tend to close them off to yes and no's. Terrible at doing that, absolutely terrible. And I do believe asking questions, the right questions, is such a gift, which is one of the reasons why I like to have some good questions always in my journals ready to go. So I don't have to think about the questions I need to ask, just use some really good ones, write them down, keep them to hand. So our tarot forefathers, we have Kenneth Mackenzie, William Wynne Westcott and Samuel Liddell Mathers among the lead British pioneers of esoteric tarot studies and the founders of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. The English Masters 1. So it goes through, we have some stuff here with the French influence that comes in about it, notes from the past, and from divination to magic. The Golden Dawn, as we know, most famous for. And no, I don't understand anything on that page. Don't ask. The pictorial then for the Tarot of the Elves is here. Let's get the deck and let's have a little look. So as always, comes in the box. I've opened it, put the box together, put the deck inside. So 2 sides to the... And interestingly, it has an upside down pentagram there. Has first card, these are the backs. Oh, so this one's got a back card. There it is. These are the backs, so clearly reversible, nice and pretty. Straight into the full, so let's bring you down. And instantly noticing that we've got numbers, no words on this one either. Sorry, there we go. Okay. So you need to know your numbers. And let's just, as we're going through, let's have a look here. So Prince Albert lived an insulated life of leisure, enjoying himself. Dokalfar, the Dark Elf, proposes a conjurer to steal the implements in the Magician. High Priestess is Alberich discovers the body of his mother, a victim of Dokalfar's treachery, the Dark Elf. Here we have Alberich's pregnant wife learns of Dokalfar's evil deed. So we have a married fool, of course. King Oberon, enchanted by Dokalfar, is reduced to a statue. Our emperor. Alberich receives a blessing as he commits to his quest that he's about to head out on. Alberich and Elio prepare for Alberich's departure. I'm going to assume that's his wife, not a lover. Alberich sets out on his quest with our chariot. Alberich wrestles the dragonet to retrieve the elven sword that animates it. So that's our strength. And the sword there coming out of the dragon's mouth. Then we have Alberich retrieves the elven disc from Dokalfar's hiding place in the mountains. So that is an unusual form of hermit, isn't it? We've got the rune there as well. Then we have the Elsyrin's whirling dance diverts Alberich from the goal of retrieving the chalice. All the naughty people. The Justice, Dokalfar strikes Alberich with the elven wand. For a hanged man, Alberich tumbles from a height, the 4 implements falling with him. Earl Konig, the elven harbinger of death, celebrates the death of Alberich. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? What about his transformation? Medieval, the elven goddess of healing and medicine, revives Alberich. Then our devil tempts Alberich with false vision of his wife. Alberich stands in the ruins of Volundar's palace, victorious. He's in there. That's a quite dark card, isn't it? Alberich heads home for the star. The unconscious Eliel stands in the city gates, longing for her husband. Oh, the unconscious. Ignore that bit. It's just Eliel standing at the city gates longing for her husband. Unconscious meaning for the moon. Sun. Alberich and Eliel are reunited. Happy families. Then we have Priestess Alva banishes Dokalfar, the nasty, nasty elf. And the world we have Oberon, restored to life, accepts the 4 implements from Alberich. He's managed to keep hold of his 4 implements then to bring them home. Now, throughout the rest of the minors, it does tell a story, so I'm not going to tell the story. We're just going to do this. So you can see what we do have a symbol on these ones. We have a number and a symbol. 5 of Cups. Let's just see, actually. Let's just check that one. Discord. Halavey and Haliel blame each other for their misery. Oh, nothing worse than that, is it? That's our 6. So if you read by the book and by the RWS references, this might confuse you. I'm just going to put that out there. Here's our 10. So she must be our page. Our knight with a horse, wearing a towel. There's our queen, and there's our king. So we've got different crowns again. The king. Oh, he doesn't look very, does he? Looks quite miserable. There's a king of water cups. So here's our pentacle. So we're pointing to this symbol. Let's just see if that symbol means anything. Faden discovers the mystical elven disc. Clearly, she's being drawn to it. And she's holding on to it. So this Faden story, what we're doing now, burying it so no one else can find it. And it's gone. Is that it out now? I feel like I'm in a pantomime for this one. It's behind you. Let's just see what they're doing with it. Number 9. I'm curious now. Reward. Faden receives fair payment for her efforts. 10. Looks like she's presenting it to somebody else. Here she's holding it. And we go again. Oh, it's a pillow. Interesting. Wands. So we've got that mystical hand popping out again. Very celebratory. Ouch. It's just, I think I did read that one out, didn't I? Conflict. Selamir's greed launches a terrible civil war. Oh, yes. That's a bit more than just conflict, isn't it? That's murder. Such a violent deck. It's a very violent deck for a pantomime. See, even he looks like he's ready for war, not a raging knight on his steed. And we're into the swords, so let's see what we have. So there's our magical, mystical hand coming in. I'm guessing these are like Elven alphabet, like you get in the Lord of the Rings. Or 2. Caliban must choose between the sword and his son. Oh, guess what he chose? The consequence. Caliban protects the sword and loses his son. Okay. Channels the sword's dark magic to resurrect his son. Scary looking son. Wow. Okay. Chaos. The resurrected Galbraith cannot be controlled. Of course. So we now have like the devil son coming through. Protecting his son from the banished city. And banished from the city. We have deceit. So the resurrected son, the evil resurrected son, has stolen the sword that his father kept to protect. And as we go around in full circle, it feels like, doesn't it? For our 8, we have angry crowd closes in on this strange boy. For our 9, we have resignation, wise but weary. He's mourning the loss of his son, so I guess the village did what he couldn't do. Number 10, we have the wiser but weary, mourning his son still. Then we have the ignorance, too inexperienced to recognise danger. Yeah, and poke that hornet's nest. Then we have our... Oh, he's coming in. So this is almost like a precursor to the start of the story, isn't it? Dark Elf plans to steal the enchanted sword. And he's quite playing Happy Families there with his son. So his mother lives only in memory for some reason. I don't know where she went. And then as the King of Sword, interesting, we have a lot of fire for this one, for the air suit. Decisiveness, Galbraith destroys the Book of Dark Magic, taking it into his own hands. So that's the story of the elves, or a brief history of the elves, as per the deck says. So I hope you enjoyed that. What was your favourite? Any cards there that you were unsure of? Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.